Take a look at what the prospects of Bafana Bafana will be come 9 o'clock tonight. Mduduzi Ndlovu, SABC Sports reporter, joins us now. Mdu, thanks for your time. Ish, Baba, 9 o'clock it is. It's down to the wire for Bafana Bafana, eh?
Yeah, I know it's time for the boys to show what they are made of.
Yeah.
And this encounter, we are expecting nothing but fireworks. It should be a mouth-watering encounter. We know the history between the two nations when it comes to football. And Nigeria still has the point that says 1996 had they been part and parcel of the tournament here on home soil here in South Africa, where South Africa won the AFCON under the guidance of Clive Barker and the leadership of Ndlovu as the captain of the team. They always say that if they were part of that tournament, South Africa were never going to win the championship. So there's been that thing in this debate between the two nations. And on Monday, JJ Okocha, who was part and parcel, who's a legend of Nigeria and part and parcel of the team for many years, and played in the 2000 AFCON tournament where South Africa lost by 2-0. And he's still clothing and saying that South Africa has never beaten Nigeria in a competitive AFCON tournament. So we are looking forward to this evening's encounter between the two nations, hoping that South Africa will make history once again like they did when they played against Egypt, knocking out their host on Saturday evening.
Are we expecting them, I mean, because it was a complete turnaround from how we saw them perform in this particular tournament, and against Egypt, everyone was just standing on their toes. What a performance they had. Are we expecting them to perhaps give it a notch up from what we saw against Egypt, because the stakes are quite high at this point?
If they can engage one more year, Griselda, I had the luck of being with Ndlovu, the former captain, who happens to be the technical director of South African Football Association. Yesterday, I was at the Safa House, and he said that South Africans need to play their football, their style of football, which is quick passing, running, and dribbling, which is what we saw exactly when we scored that goal against Egypt on Saturday evening. So that's what he's expecting. And I had the luck of speaking with one Helman Mkelele this morning.
That's right.
I was on the phone with him this morning. Yes, of course. He was part of the team that won the championship with Orlando Pirates in '95, which was a CAF Champions League that time. And then that championship by Pirates in '95 transferred to Bafana in January '96. Then they won the AFCON tournament. Mkelele was also concurs with Ndlovu, saying that they need to play their flair, they show their flair, their dribbling, their passing. Because of the stature of the South Africans, we have small body, and we are tiny made, unlike the West Africans who are huge, and then they are tall and big, and they are slow. That's an advantage for us, because while we are short with a small stature, this makes us to be quicker than the West African nations. So that's what made us and saw us winning in Nigeria in 2017 in the first qualifier against the same team.
I was speaking to one of your producers a bit earlier on, and he was telling me that was it in the qualification of the AFCON, we drew with Nigeria here at home.
Yes.
That's correct. And we beat them in Nigeria 2-0. So what do the stakes look like at the moment? I know you're not a soccer analyst, but Mdu, I'm going to have to put you on the spot on this one. I mean, what can we expect from Bafana Bafana tonight?
I see this match finishing within the regulation. I don't see any extra time. I don't foresee any penalties in this encounter. I see a mouth-watering encounter, Griselda. We are expecting nothing but that between the two powerhouses of football. We haven't been doing well as South Africa in many sporting courts, but can they just please make us proud as a nation?
You're making such a plea, can they please? And you know, I could see Stuart Baxter as well. I mean, immediately after we'd won against Egypt, he put out a tweet, and you know, it was very spiritual, and everyone was like, you know what, we're really praying to the gods at this point to make sure that Bafana Bafana gets through. But I have to ask him, score prediction? Is that even allowed?
I won't give you that. What I can give you, Griselda, if he can make sure that he feels the players who did us proud against Egypt, and then inject some pace up front. We need the likes of Pesita, we need the likes of Lodge, we need the likes of Zwane, we need the likes of Hlompo Kekan in the midfield, and the mind and the brilliance of one Zungu, Bongani Zungu. He has matured since he played
in Paris,
in France.
In
he
France,
moved to France. He has matured. His passing, his reading of the game is second to none in South African football at the moment. From where I am seated, I can see him winning as the match in the midfield.
And so much pressure on Lorch.
Of course, everyone will be looking at Lodge because the Egyptians, I'm sure, they were not even aware if who this young man is, who's this Lodge, who's playing after missing the first 3 matches, whereby we were like crossing fingers, are we gonna make it to the last 16 or what? And then we made it after Mali did us a favor in one of the matches in the group stages. So we know the pressure will be on Lodge, but here's the wheel of steel.
On.
Because he's the football of the season in South Africa.
And
remember,
he plays for, Pirates.
Okay. Yes,
let's not even
second Pirates in the league. Let's not go there
All
now.
right. Thank you so much, Mdu. Thank you very much for being with us. Certainly coming up at 9 o'clock tonight. Everybody pinning their hopes, of course, on Bafana Bafana as they take on the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Our reporter Mduduzi Ndlovu, thanks for your time. Let's take a short break here on The Full View. Much more coming up after the break.